Right when I came in here, you were fucking bitching and moaning. I was like, hey, I'm just trying to have a guy come on a podcast because we talk about small business
Oh
ownership,
man.
COVID-19, how to sustain, maybe give a little hope for the people. And you come in here with all this fucking negative shit, and I guess it might be, if it's something you want to go into. Personally, I'm kind of a nihilist myself. I'm not really, if I was gonna if we're gonna be voting for one party or the other, I would definitely. I'm not D or R. I'm more of N.
Hmm.
If that fills in any gaps for you. But I don't know what do you think about all the stuff that's going on, man? I guess there was a Proud Boy battle today up in Portland. You were telling me about.
Yeah, yeah. No, like that was a miracle, really, that like Portland actually pulled off a peaceful coexistence of two diametrically opposed protest groups. But it sounds like they pulled it through. I was paying attention to it in between carpet installs, just checking out the progress because honestly, I feel like uh, Trump is just using Portland as a petri dish to foment unrest and you know basically say, oh, Portland is what's happening everywhere and that bullshit. So I just get kind of tired of it. I mean, I never you lived in Portland for a while, whereas I
Yeah,
haven't. But
it's a great
I
great
mean,
city.
I
Love
know a
love
number of
Portland.
people who live up there, and it seems like it's a place like where you know two diametrically opposed philosophies could coexist with the proper governmental navigation. Um, I mean,
Oh yeah, man! Right
we're
where
in
I
such
live,
a
I had a gun store, a gun sandwich spot. Never went in there. Not a big gun guy. I mean, I support Second Amendment, whatever, to some extent, or whatever. I don't want to get into all that, but there's a
well,
big
we could
old.
get into that, boy.
You want to get into the Second Amendment? I mean, I was just gonna say when I lived there, there was a gun store, and then right across the street was the weed store,
Hmm?
and I was more on that side of the street most of the time because I didn't really need a gun. I'm handy enough with a knife that
Well, yeah. I mean, let me just say that like the folks I grew up with who handled weed, they especially the growers, they didn't have any problems with guns. That's the irony. You had these hippies smoking weed, but you had the guys growing it who had fucking AK-47s and dogs to protect their grow, right? So the funny thing about it is, especially in the Northwest, you've got rednecks growing weed to feed the potheads across the globe who are enjoying that pot. It's just it's just dumb. And as far as guns go in the Second Amendment, like
now, have you ever
I've,
taken pot?
believe me, like what's kind of the funny story is when I was a kid, back behind the trailer, like I was probably 9 years old, and one of my buddies had procured a little bit of weed, like a joint, and was we lit it up and we're passing around, and I was like, yeah, like what's the big deal? Why is everybody so excited about this, right? And so from that point forward, I was like, eh, pot isn't a thing. Whereas it became a thing for people, especially as they got into it when they were older. But I think because I was introduced to it and not really impressed, that I didn't become a pothead per se, but I just sat as an observer.